Way back in 1996, kind of like it, I really, really do. 15 after 11 o'clock, 13 degrees downtown. Yeah, not too bad. We have passed the weatherman's 14 degrees and closest to my prediction of 19 this morning so far. Barbara 20, she's not going to get a, no, she's not going to win today. Absolutely not. Write that one off. But in the meantime, nice to have everybody along this morning. Today, we're actually doing a redo because the last time we did this, unfortunately, Microsoft and Facebook and all of those had a global incident which sort of, it impeded us a little bit. So we want the whole enchilada. Let's do it properly. Besides that, we got inundated by fans saying, where is the video? We want to see the interview. So, okay, let's do this for you guys. So welcome along if you're joining us on Facebook Live right now. Nice to have everybody along, and believe me, it is an absolute pleasure to have Cory Luetjen join us again with the Travelling Blues Band. And today he's brought along a good friend of his, the saxophone player, Jonathan Link. And nice to have Jonathan in on this as well. He's going to learn a few things about me. He really is. So this might be, he may need a therapist after it. Don't worry, Jonathan, I've got a good one, or a good couple actually. One coming out of your area too. Well, he's a criminologist as well. So you may know him, by the way. But in the meantime, let's kick this off. Let me do this. Galaxy. Sean Simpson's on board. Nice to have you on board, Sean. Absolutely love our fans, and thank you so much for being a dedicated fan to Galaxy and watching these interviews. Today, I am absolutely elated because we do have Cory Luetjen and the Travelling Blues Band joining us, coming out of North Carolina. I think we're almost residents in North Carolina now. We really, really are. And again, we have a good friend of ours. So let's kick it off. Let's go the way you move right here at Galaxy. So how you feeling, guys? You okay?
Yeah, doing good. We're going to try to jump on that link and try to get that streaming live on our channel too, if we can, while we got the little minute. Let us know when we're about to interview back on, and we'll be good to go and do it. Thank you for the introduction. Once again, Miss Seriously, thanks again for having us. We'll obviously say all this stuff too on there, but really, I really appreciate you doing it. We cannot thank you enough. We really do, man. We're very humbled and very glad about the support.
Believe me, bro, not a problem. It's an absolute pleasure. As I said to you the last time, we only play the good stuff here at Galaxy, so, and I'm honestly a stickler for getting it right. Now, if we can't get it right first time, damn, we're going to make sure we get it right the second time, because it's about you, it's about your music, your songwriting, all the abilities and stuff. Terry Van Cannon's on board. Nice to have Terry on board. Glad Cory got connected. Yeah, yeah. Well, we did it once before, Terry, but unfortunately Microsoft and Facebook let us down. So
we did broadcast it on the radio.
There is a reason for doing this, and I'm so elated that Terry actually took the time out, not only to come on back, but he brought Jonathan with him this time. Always good for a good blower. Ah, dear. So we will have a chat about. I'm not sure. Did we talk the last time, Cory, about getting you guys down to New Zealand?
I would love to get there. We haven't. If not, we haven't talked enough. If we got to line up a promoter or the right amount of clubs to make that happen.
We will have a chat about that. Of course, we're subject to the government's rules right now, if you know what I mean. We've been
locked down for
it's
16,
crazy.
17 months.
17 months that we haven't had a show in this country ourselves, and that's
it's crazy. Yeah, I feel for you. Live music, I don't know if I could live without it. So I can only imagine.
Well, believe me, bro, not only is it about us trying to get shows on, but we have people to worry about as well. Like all of our staff and that have families and need to be able to pay the rent and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. From the bartender to the guy running the lights to the guy selling the tickets to the toll booth guy you got to pay to get it all. It's all affected. it's all effective with entertainment
Absolutely.
and shows and music. Absolutely.
Absolutely, bro.
People, the restaurants around the venue that, get dinner crowd before they go to the show, all those things, yeah.
Exactly.
Hopefully onward and upward to happier times.
Well, it's got to happen. Apparently, there was a COVID virus outbreak 20,000 years ago.
No kidding.
No kidding. Now, how the hell did we get through it that time? And why can't we do it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go live, right?
Ready? Let's try to do it again. Link it.
Girl, it puts me in the mood.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 21 after 11 o'clock. It is 13 degrees downtown, 83.4 degrees if you're in America. Inside this office right now, it's hot, really hot. So we need to employ some of this Kiwi air conditioning. Open the damn window, will you? Thank you. Yes, I was just saying to, and believe me, it is an absolute pleasure to have guys from the North Carolina state again. Yes, Cory Luetjen and the Travelling Blues Band is joining us. And I was just saying to them about the scientists have found out that 20,000 years ago, the COVID virus existed back then. I asked my mum about it. She says, yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. So I get it. I do. Believe me, there's a place here in New Zealand called Milford Sound. It's like time forgot. Literally, it is absolutely fantastic. It's almost like having the dinosaurs walk through there, but Mum went home last week. Cory Luetjen, and of course we're joined by Jonathan Link from the band, Cory Luetjen and the Travelling Blues Band this morning. Welcome to Galaxy.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. We sure appreciate you having us on, and we're glad to be here.
It is an absolute pleasure to have you back. Now, unfortunately, circumstances kind of got in the way the last time we caught up with Cory, but we're putting that one right as we speak. And I was just saying to Jonathan, you may need a therapist after this. I know you got a stiff drink there. That's the first good move. But believe me, I do have a therapist.
Cheers to you. Right.
I do have a therapist in your neighbourhood that might be able to help out after this, just in case you need one. By the way, I want to give a shout out to your support team in the background there. Always nice to have a support team working with you.
Oh, that's for sure. And I'll tell you, we actually got a huge support team, starting with I would say the fans. We hate calling them fans because they're almost friends. I swear to God, it's like we just know. At least know your face when you come to a show. But it starts with those guys. They don't come up to shows and do all that good stuff. There's no band that we can't get booked. Nobody wants to hear us, and nobody's going to book us. But so first of all, the fans and the friends and the people that do it, we want to thank them. Then of course you got the real the real support team. That's of course family and friends that have helped us load in and load out and get shows and help us buy equipment and all that good stuff throughout the years. And the one that we have on detail tonight is, of course, the lovely Faith Link, Jonathan's wife. She runs Sound and Lights for us, and she's asked the most spectacular nanny, I guess you could say, in the whole wide world. Being a single dad, it's definitely a tough little job to be able to play music for a living and have a little 1-year-old daughter. But luckily, through family and friends and faith, literally faith and literally faith, spiritually and literally. We're able to make it do it. So if anybody hears a little kid in the background, a little cry in the background, it's just Emma, and Faith will be sure to grab her. So we couldn't do it without her. We couldn't do anything without her, I don't think. So,
absolutely, and nice to give Faith a plug as well. Very, very cool. Now, guys, we kicked the show off.
There is one thing, DJ Grant, I've always said, too, and we can cheers to this, I'll tell you, is this whole deal, to the wives and girlfriends may they never meet. There you go.
Yay, verily. Dale Hammond is joining us. Nice, I like that. Nice to have you on board, Dale, and absolute pleasure. Really, really. Now, having said that, we kicked the show off with The Way You Move. Tell me a little bit about this. How did you come to the lyrics of that?
Yeah, so I was just, there's a lot of my songs. Sometimes there's songs that take a year to write, and you have the right deal. And then sometimes you're really walking through the grocery store, and you just get a lyric in your head, and you get a melody, and come home and you write it down and you have it. This was kind of more the latter. We were preparing to go to Memphis. We had just won the 2017 Piedmont Blues Preservation Society competition, and we were getting ready to go to Memphis. And when we won our set in the regional, the Piedmont, and we were getting ready to go to Memphis, I just felt like we needed something to really open up the set strong the ability. And I just got in there, and we started. I kind of had the kernel. I kind of had that groove, that Albert Collins kind of shuffle and Memphis shuffle kind of type thing in my head. But then we wanted to make it pop, and we started just monkeying around with beginnings. And next thing you know, we had that killer intro. He, out of the horns, and it just instantly it wants to get you on the dance floor. It makes you want to move, and I think it's an attention getter. It's one that we kick off a lot of our shows with.
I never think there's enough brass in bands these days, you know what I mean? So it's always refreshing to have somebody like Jonathan's talents on board with you, and I got to congratulate you for that. Now, Jonathan, how long have you been playing the sax?
Probably since I was about 10 years old. I'm pushing, I'm not going to say, but for a good, 25 plus years.
Okay, well, I got to be honest, I'm a couple of moons older than you, but around about the same time I started giving it a blow as well, you know what I mean? So, as I said to you earlier on, much respect for that. Now, having said that, tell me a little bit about Crazy About Saxophone.
Well, that's kind of funny how that actually come up. So when we first started the band, the traveling blues and how it all come up. I of course got to tell the story by telling the story. We didn't know who the traveling blues band was going to be. I was actually a touring artist. I played a guitar in a couple other bands, and I could play slide. And I learned I was touring with a country band. And I got off the road with them, and I just said, man, I want to go play blues. I want to go play blues, and I want to do my own band, and I want to have my name on the banner and do the thing. And so I started putting the band together. The problem was because I had been on the road, I would come back home and I would host some blues jams and whatnot. And that's actually how we met, was through a local blues jam. And I knew Jonathan, but we weren't really playing together. He was already playing in 3 or 4 other beach bands at the time. He was busy with those guys. But we would meet each other at a jam and do this or that, and then we exchanged numbers. And literally when we first started the band, I would say the first 6 months of the Traveling Blues Band, we didn't know if it was going to work, wasn't going to work. I didn't know if I could get booked. Everybody told me I was crazy. I mean, country is so hot over here in the United States that, around the world, it was just the hottest thing. It's still really hot now. And I was quitting that to go play blues. And everybody just thought I was nuts, And I said, well, I don't care if it's just me and the bartender there. Until they quit hiring me, I'm going to play these 3 chords in the truth and do it, And that started it. Well, when I put the band together, it was literally me going through my phone and saying, well, here's a good drummer from a jam. This is a good bass player I know. Oh, Jonathan can do this on sax. I can have a horn in the band. We had a keyboard player. So Thursday night, you might see me with just bass drums, Jonathan and me. Friday night, Jonathan wouldn't be there. There'd be a keyboard player because he'd be playing with a beach band. And Saturday, all of us would be there. And you just never knew. What we did know was you were going to have Cory Luetjen. That was me. And we knew that there was going to be a traveling blues band. So that's how we started the band. And luckily, about 6 or 7 months into it, we really started getting into a groove. And the song selection, and, it really started going. And he kind of started doing it more and more full time. And when he started doing that, I just realized in the set, he would do a solo here, or there'd be a kind of a cool funk one like Superstition or something that we'd play in our set. That was good, but there was nothing in the set that showcased him. I wanted to really, not just a solo, but really showcase him, because he was just such a talented player, and I was so humbled to be able to play with him. And we played a local bar here, And I got home on my couch at about 3:30 in the morning. I actually had I was a bartender at the time during the day, and I would play music at night. I had a bartender's pad and a pet, and I grabbed my guitar, and I sat down, and I said, I'm going to write a saxophone song. And that's how I did crazy about a saxophone. Well, we kicked it up in sound check the next show, and he started monkeying with it, and next thing you know, it just, man, it clicked, and he went wild with it ever since, that's for sure. That's my side of the story, and pretty much how it went. And we just now, I will put in a shameless little plug, we just completed the music video for that tune, and you can check it out on everywhere you go, Facebook, YouTube, check out our page. We just completed it. Had a blast doing the video and really showcased him. So that's what it is. And the other thing we know, it's our most popular requested song at any show because everybody's crazy about saxophone.
That's cool. Now, it looks like somebody bought the security shop. Yeah, they do. Believe me. Now, let's move on there. I'm sorry about that. Somebody lit the security
No, you're fine.
But having said that, Matt Walsh is online, coming out of North Carolina as well. Nice to have you on board. And loving the Friday Night Gambles too, by the way. Here, live at Galaxy is Cory Luetjen and the Travelling Blues Band, Crazy About a Saxophone. How you feeling, guys? You okay?
Oh yeah, we're doing great. We're doing great. Good deal.
Nice.
Chime in again. Yeah.
Jonathan, I don't know.
Yeah, we
I don't know whether I've asked Cory this or not, but have you ever tried vegan sausages? I ask everybody.
I want to say no.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, you're a meatatarian like me?
Right.
Right. Well, you know, Cory's going to expect this answer, but, well, I just want to find out if they're made out of real vegans.
Oh man, you're killing me. That's the good stuff.
Listen, the wife actually lets me out every Sunday, every now and again, and I went over to a friend of mine's place, his name is Clinton, and he says to me, I'm a little worried about my mum and dad. And I went, why is that? And he goes, well, the walls here are paper thin, right? And I went, yeah. And he goes, they were out in the out on the veranda having breakfast the other morning, and Mum asked Dad, if I pass away, will you get married again? And of course, Bill says to Marion, I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that. That's really, really bad, right? So he says, the problem is, at night time, my headboard backs onto the wall where their headboard is, so I can hear what they're doing and saying. Just sort of faith going in the background there. And I went, okay. He says, well, the thing is, she asked him again, and he didn't want to talk about it. I went, okay. This morning at breakfast, the question came up again, and the old man just gave up, and he says, all right, yes, I'll get married again. And she goes, oh, okay. Will you sell the house? And he goes, no, I'm not going to sell the house. What about my car? No, I'm not going to sell the car. What about my golf clubs? Look, she's left-handed.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, that's pretty good.
Even her ringtone is a saxophone. When she hears it sets fire to her soul. That saxophone. Yeah, when she hears it sets fire to her soul. That saxophone.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 26 away from lunchtime, midday here in New Zealand, 8.4 degrees, we'll call it 8 degrees. and Tuesday, June 29th, which is basically, Wednesday night in North Carolina right now. And nice to have a good representation coming out of North Carolina watching this right now. And, of course, Sean Simpson, love you as well. Really, really do. Now, having said that, guys, as a fan, and I do have a fan question for you, as a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, do you respond?
Yes. So we're on all of the above. Facebook for sure. Instagram, we respond. Those are the two main ones that we do a lot with. Obviously, we're on the Galaxy FM artist page, so you can look us up there. That's always a good idea as well. And the cool part about where we are in our careers, I guess, is that I'm very fortunate. I make a living doing this. This is the day job. This is the night job. This is what we've been. And we work incredibly hard, believe me, to be able to do that and to travel and all that. It's not all the glitz and glamour that the show might say, but I still feel incredibly blessed to be able to do this for a living and have fans. With that being said, and being able to make a living doing this, we're still at the level where there's no publicist. You're looking at the guy that does that publishes and does it all. And so when you message, it goes to right here under this guy, and either I'm responding or Jonathan's responding or someone in the immediate team that does the deal is it. So yes, we do respond. We love the fan interaction. We love getting song requests for fans. Hey, we'd love if you try this one, do that one. Obviously, we like getting feedback on our tunes. I mean, there's nothing better than when you have a fan come up and come up and say that, man, I just absolutely love such and such song. Hey, man, I put your CD in when we drove up to, and then we put it back in to drive back. I mean, those type of things are very encouraging for us. I think every artist, whether it's music, art, just painting, no matter what it is, every artist. You go through like this little cycle of, well, man, it's really good. Let's just put this on CD and go do it. And then you have the cycle where you're, well, who the heck would listen to this? This is, what's the deal? So when you actually have somebody that comes up and fans and people that encourage you and contact with you and engage with you, that you realize it means a lot. It means a whole lot. So yes, we are definitely very vocal, very active. We definitely like to engage with our fan base. And like I was telling you, I even hate calling it a fan base because I would drink a beer with just about everybody in the audience, and just kind of kick back. And that's kind of the grassroots following that we have.
Absolutely. And I agree with you about calling them fans. We call them here our audio audience, if you know what I mean. So, because they do participate.
Yes. They
do get in touch with us. They ring us. They email us. They text us. Believe me, they get in touch, and they request a lot of music. And I'm talking about in the car and having a listen to you on your CD and stuff like that. I got to be honest with you. In fact, I was having a look at this just yesterday. I got in the car, went through my playlist in my car, and it's 6 bands from North Carolina. That's it. It's like, how the hell did that happen? You know what I mean? And I'm talking about...
It's got to be something in the water, I guess. I don't know. But there is definitely a lot of talent around here for sure. And we're blessed to be amongst... I think that's kind of part of it with here is everybody is just so darn good that if you're going to be considered to be one of the good ones and somebody to go see, you really got to constantly stay on top of your game, constantly go out and pick up licks and pick up songs and interact and all that. So it's definitely something in the water, and it keeps all the good bands, so to speak, just keeps raising the bar to keep on fighting for more and trying to get more and trying to get better and better.
Well, let me run down this. Believe me, there's Smitty and the Jumpstarters are there. There's Cory Luetjen is in there. Terry Van Cannon's in there. Dale Cole's in there. And Matt Walsh is in there. Believe me, that's my playlist in my car. Now, I've got to let you know, Jonathan, to be able to be played here at Galaxy, to go through and get an interview and everything, that's not easy in its own right. Barbara gets about 30 to 50 bands a day wanting to do the interviews, wanting us to be able to promote them, play them on our radio station, all that sort of stuff. Now, keeping in mind, we've only got a certain amount of time in a week to be able to get these done. You know, we got to whittle that down. And Barbara, you know, she's got to get out the red pen and just go crazy sometimes. Unfortunately, there is some very, very good music in there, but it's just got to be done. You know what I mean? And then she goes to production.
Yep.
Production and Barbara, they sort of wiggle something out. Then it goes to a board. Now, on the board meetings, any given board meeting could be 8 or 12 different people. Their only interest, and I've got to be honest, Jonathan, it's a good interest, is our image. It's got to be good for us. You know what I mean? So, we only play the good stuff, literally. And I got to admit, Cory Luetjen is part of that team. You know, that it's being played and requested so much. It's not funny. Now, then after it passes all of those ticks in the boxes and everything, it comes to me. And Barbara hands it to me on a USB kind of deal. And I play you in my car. Now, for two reasons.
The car test. That's always the toughest test. We've heard that. The car test is always the toughest test.
Yeah, well, for me, it's for two reasons. The first reason is nobody can influence me on whether or not I want to do the interview. Now, I get no information, just the music. Doesn't tell me the title of the song or the artist, anything like that. And I've got a kick-ass stereo in my car, I've got to be honest with you. But the other reason too, Jonathan, is basically this: nobody wants to drive with me.
Now, is this on your car or your golf cart?
Well, you know, they've heard about the golf cart, but no, in my car, they don't want to get in the car. They don't even want to contemplate the idea. They kind of think sideways is weird. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Different way to use 4 times, right?
Well, you know, I dispute this. Even Barbara, now she finds it difficult to get in the car with me at any given time, given that she has in a few times. But her son drives sideways. He's a New Zealand champion car driver, you know, a racer. Same with her grandson.
Well, there we go.
You know, she'll get in the car any day with those guys. Come to me, see you later. What's wrong? Going sideways. You know, we're in the middle of 3 major cities, but we're in a little milling town. Soon to be not a milling town, actually. We're closing down our mill tomorrow. Well, over the next couple of weeks, it's shutting down slowly, losing a number of hundreds of people and staff, you know, in employment, which is sad. But, you know, sign of the times, unfortunately. But we're surrounded by forestry, so I know where they hide the keys and the combinations to get in those fire break gates. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I see.
Then I go driving. Now, I've got to be honest with you, and I will be straight up with you, Cory, about this one. My first song I ever heard of yours was actually Left Me With the Blues, which we do have coming up very shortly. And I literally pulled the car over, turned up the stereo, went back to the start of that song, cracked a cold one, and absolutely just loved it. Okay? So if you want to go cars and memories and music of Cory Luetjen, that was my moment when I very first heard you. And there I knew I wanted to do this interview. Having said that, it didn't leave me with the same old blues, but I enjoyed that one as well. Tell me about Same Old Blues.
All right, Same Old Blues. So there's a saying I got: I've never been married, but I feel like I've been divorced twice, and that's an absolute truth. And this one was, I guess it would have been that first divorce. And I dated a girl for a long time. We lived together, a lot of things we never did. But it ended up where we split up. And here I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And I went from having a job, and I had a quote unquote real job. I was a beer delivery salesman for a company over here, and so that was a pretty good day gig, And then I was able to play music at night. Well, I committed the cardinal sin of working too much apparently, and we didn't work out. So with that being said, I lost the girl, and then I decided, well then hell, you know what? I'm actually, if I work too much, I'm going to get rid of the day job and just play music. That's what I started doing. And I was sitting through all the craziness of it. I ended up having to move back in with my dad, with my pops. And he had this one wooden room. I call it the wooden room. It had wood floors. It has an old farmhouse. And I was sitting. It was literally me, a chair, and my acoustic guitar. I was kind of setting up as a practice room as we were trying to figure out what we were going to do at the house and all this stuff. And I just grabbed my acoustic guitar, and this one literally just poured out of the guitar. The progression did, the lyrics. I bet I wrote the song in about 7 minutes. I mean, really, it was the life story of those 3 years. You know what I mean? And I came and, again, showed it to the guys. I kind of thought about even doing it acoustic, but something about the guitar solo just sounded better on electric, and being a guitarist, I didn't want to be able to do that. So we compromise and we kick it off slow, and then we really get going. It's really a heartfelt one. And, when I write music, there's fun tunes. There's, the old saying is, sometimes when you listen to music, it's for the lyrics, and sometimes when you listen to music, it's for the music. And I think it's especially true in blues. I've listened to blues when I was the happiest guy in the world. I just wanted to hear that blues shuffle, and I didn't care what the lyrics were saying. I just wanted to hear a cool guitar and have that beat. And I've also listened to blues when I've been, solo a mosquito wouldn't bite me. It's just one of those things. And this was definitely the latter. This one was a heartfelt deal. And obviously heartache and heartbreak and people not working out is just part of what happens in the world. And I wanted to be able to write music in this particular song. Somebody could be drinking a beer, drinking a scotch, going through it and listen to it and say, man, that's exactly me. That is what's going on. Glad somebody else has done it. This is my anthem. And, I feel blue. This is the blues. And you know what? I am just going to soak in this 5 minutes of blues. And that's what it is. And that's why I always brings me back to the same old blues.
You're right here at Galaxy, joined live by Cory Luetjen and, of course, Jonathan Link from the band, the Traveling Blues Band, Same Old Blues.
My baby left me all alone.
Tell me, as an engineer, and believe me, I've been an engineer for almost 40 years, what was the acoustics in that room like?
Excellent. It was all real oak. It was, when I say it was a farmhouse, that house they did, I literally think they cut the trees on the property. Back in those days they did, in the 40s or whatever. It has to be, that's an old house, really is like my dad's house. And I bet they literally cut and milled the trees and made everything. You know what I mean? I don't know what the walls look like inside, but I guarantee you there's not a true 2x4. I'm sure there's a, rough cut 2x6, 2x4, whatever the hell would fit,
Yep.
And the acoustics in it were great. And we cut, if I'm not mistaken, we cut 3 or 4 songs of this album in that. I went over to my dad's house. I was there and said, hey, Dad, I really don't have anything else to record. And he said, son, I don't care. It's just us. He's an old bachelor himself. And he said, man, turn it up, and so we did. We actually recorded the drums in there. We did it. It's you can have a bright room with wood, or you can have one that kind of soaks up. And I think the ceilings depend a lot on it. And this one luckily had big enough, tall enough ceilings, and drums. That's exceptionally important. You know what I mean? With the drums, you want enough for it to breathe, as they say. Mm-hmm. And that's what we ended up doing was. Cutting the drums there for that one. I think Hurt All Over Again. And there's one other tune that we, Shaft, the beach tune. And that was the sound we were going for, man. You know what I mean? So that was it. Especially this particular one, that reverb, that natural reverb on it. I'll tell you, there's not a lot of digital reverb that they did in production. I remember the guy messaged me. He said, dude, I'm going to have to mess up the guitar just to make it not sound so damn perfect. You know what I mean? And that was it, so it was a good deal.
Very, very cool. Believe me, as an engineer, I'm very, very interested in stuff like that. You know what I mean? Especially the environment where you're going to be recording, or even just discovering a sound sometimes. It's your environment that counts as well. We did one in a public toilet simply because this is in Auckland, believe me, and it was underneath a motorway, and across the road from the motorway was actually the district court. But this toilet, and I'm not kidding, all these men of the night used to go in there. But We whacked this band in there and recorded it simply because it was all tile and absolutely fantastic sound. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
then once we got that done, we were going to do the video, and everybody went, well, why don't we go back to the loos? It was like, oh my God. It was sort of a George Michael kind of deal, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It absolutely was. I guarantee it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, wake me up before you go. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. That's killer. That's killer.
I'm going to ask you.
We have a.
I'm going to ask.
What do we got left? Left me with the blues, and Love You Two Blues are all gone.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask you
Okay.
if you'd consider coming to New Zealand. We're going to go down that road, which will
Okay, good deal. Yeah.
therefore lead into the the story about the golf cart kind of security cart thing. Okay, it will explain it.
Sure. I'm excited about this. I really am.
Well, I've been sitting there watching Jonathan. He's going, get on with it. I want to know about the golf cart.
No.
So we'll go and do that.
I'll have the same old
Galaxy FM.
That's right, you're right. Here at Galaxy 107 FM, 9 away from the lunchtime, midday, 7.7 degrees, so we'll call it 8 degrees. Kind of weird right now. It went all the way up and then all the way back down again. So, yeah, but having said that, thunder, snow conditions in and around Christchurch could make for a spectacular display of lightning this morning. Enjoy that. I like a bit of Mother Nature getting down, I really do. As long as you're safe, right? And if you're out and about on the roads, drive to the conditions. You know what to do. Turn your lights on, make it click, get there safely, right? Yeah. Having said that, we're joined today, coming out of North Carolina by, yes, Cory, Luetjen and Jonathan Link from the band, the Travelling Blues Band. And we've been having a little chat about little things behind the scenes. You'll have to watch the video. For those of you, by the way, that are going to watch it a little later on over on YouTube, you know what to do, right? Yeah, no, you do. Sub, thumb, bell. Bingo. Simply because bell notifications for when we have important people like Cory Luetjen joining us. And, well, it's a really pleasure to have him back again. Now, Cory, we've been talking a little bit about getting you here in New Zealand. But before I ask you that, I did ask you a fan question about how we get hold of you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and stuff like that. What I negated to ask you was, how do we download your music? Have you got a website? And on your website, do you have a merch store?
Talk to him, Johnny. This is the guy that takes care of the tech stuff. I just read the song. Talk to him, Johnny.
Yeah, so it was a couple years back, I guess, we actually got it going. I do IT work as well, but I'm not really much of web design kind of deal. But Cory's like, what do we need to do? So I'm like, all right, well, we can go this route, get it set up. So we do have a website built out, travelingbluesband.com. That's got all of our links and video and the whole deal on how to reach us and all that good stuff.
Yeah, pretty much travelingbluesband.com. You ended up putting out all of our Spotify links on it. Apple Music, Google Play, all the places that you can normally download music, you can do that, and we definitely appreciate that. Of course, same deal with you guys. We're on YouTube, so, sub, like, bell, you know the deal. That's absolutely 100% right. So check us out at the Traveling Blues Band. You'll see that cool little band logo there behind us, and that's the one. Give us that thumbs up, follow us. We've had a pretty big upswell of people wanting to follow and like us with the release of the Crazy About a Saxophone video. We normally try to cut music videos. They're not quite what they were with MTV, I guess, when they actually used to play music, 20 years ago, whatever it was. But they're still kind of a cool little thing, and they're kind of like when you got your favorite band, you get to kind of see them and do their thing. So we cut a couple quote-unquote real music videos every year. We have a great director, Maury Kennedy. He does an excellent job for us. But aside from the polished music videos that we're trying to promote a song, we at least try to once a month, twice a month. We carry GoPros around with us and try to get 3-4 tight angled shots and live performances. Mm-hmm. And we try to at least update throw up a song or two a month. The real deal, what you would see at a show, at a Cory Luetjen and the Trad Blues Band show, the real solos, the real deal. No editing. This is just the only editing is the video editing. There's no edits. There's just us playing. So if you're enjoying our sound, that's what you like. We obviously on Spotify and all that good stuff. We just try to sell all our originals, and that's what we want to do. We want to get our music in your ears and in your hands, so to speak. But on the YouTube channel, you'll get a little bit of sneak peek of some of the covers that we end up covering during live shows as well, and you'll be able to check them out. And we've had a few fans that graciously just love our version the best, and that's always good. And that's the easiest way to get it. So we don't really record covers, so to speak, in the studio and do them. At least we haven't yet. But we definitely try to put out a few during our show. So I highly suggest the YouTube channel to subscribe and like and the bell. Facebook, The Traveling Blues Band is what you're looking for in all your hashtags. And travelingbluesband.com will send you to all these places. There's links everywhere on that website and pictures of us and all that good stuff. So hopefully that'll get everybody in the right direction. We'll get inundated with messages now that everybody's heard this on 107.
Yeah, believe me,
Galaxy FM.
I think you are too. Now, do you have a merch store on there? Do you sell koozies and t-shirts and stuff like that as well?
All right, so we're developing the merch store to be able to streamline that. The easiest way to do it, you can send us a message, either on Facebook or through the website. It comes directly, once again, to this guy right here. You give me we have Venmo, Cash App, and all that good stuff set up. If you want an extra large t-shirt, you want a koozie, you want a hat, you want a CD, you want a package deal, tell me what you want. I'll give you the price, give us, and we'll mail it to you. And we mean that. I think you said 201 cities and 75 countries are listening today. We sent stuff to France, to Germany, to the UK, our buddies from down under, Howler the Bones, over in Australia. Which I don't want to get the New Zealand Aussie thing going, but I'll just.
Too late.
What I'm trying to tell you is that we send it anywhere. We don't discriminate at all. If you're willing to buy it, we'll gladly be able to do it. It goes right to me. I go right now. I have a post office 12 minutes from my house, and I will make sure I get it in the mail for you, and we will take care of you because we want to get our fans the gear. We got some cool T-shirts and stuff. And maybe I'll even show a few on the next break there. We'll grab a few, and we got some cool stuff to be able to give away, so and be able to sell. So we definitely want fans to do it, and we got to get your size, right? Because we got to send you one for the next interview for sure.
I tell you what, I'll get Barbara to send you those, all the details and stuff like that. Believe me, we'd be very, very honoured to wear your brand while I'm doing these interviews. Today I'm wearing the Creatures coming out of Canada, and believe me, I absolutely love these guys. I do. And of course, we got the guys coming out of Ireland as well. There you go. What do you mean? Product placement. Of course. Of course. It's all about product placement, literally. And people get on the interwebby thing, before you know it, you've got another 6 or 7 fans, you know what I mean? So, literally. Yes. But I'm talking...
Well, listen, we've said we try to get them by the tens. I tell you, by the tens.
Well, I tell you what, I'm talking hundreds.
That'll work too.
Yeah. When I say 6 or 7, I mean hundreds, literally. And I'll give you the amount of people that are online watching this or listening to this on the radio after we do it, because no point in giving it to you now. It just grows and grows and grows. You know what I mean? So when we finish this, I'll let you know how many numbers were on board. Now, having said that, we were discussing about getting you guys down here to the Antipodes, down to the Aotearoa, land of the long white cloud. Now, do you guys know much about New Zealand?
Well, we know that they have a pretty eccentric DJ that runs a radio station at 107 Galaxy. I know that. I'll tell you, we do know, the only other part that I know about it is I had a girl in my middle school class that moved from New Zealand, tall, gorgeous redhead. And, of course, I was in middle school, so back then I was, I wouldn't say cooties existed, but then looking back now, my goodness, did I mess up there? You know what I mean? Like, what was I thinking? You know what I mean? But anyways, hindsight is always 2020. But I do know that, and I know that they obviously love a lot of good music, and I know that we would love to get some shows over there, to tour over there. Like I was telling you, we're going to do one of these interviews in the studio one day, when we're on our way to playing another show. And, so I don't know what promoters are out there or how that all happens. I got to be honest. I've done most of our booking. I use a few agents that I'm a non-exclusive artist, but I do most of it. But you always meet partners. You always meet promoters. This is a good band. This is definitely a top shelf quality band that can perform in front of any crowd anywhere in the world. And we would love to perform live in front of some of the crowds in New Zealand. However, I was warned by one of our compadres, I'll say, Terry Von Cannon, that if we are going to go to a show and do a show over there, to never ride in a golf cart with you to the show. And I'm just curious, DJ Grant, why would that be?
Well, okay, let me put you in on this one. Now, first of all, I've got to let you know that if you're going to come to New Zealand, we're a little crazy here in New Zealand. We kind of are. We like shenanigans. That kind of sums it up, especially for me. I'm huge on shenanigans. I got
The right man then.
Yeah, literally. But having said that, have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
What?
Hoo-hoo grub. It's spelled H-U-H-U, grub.
No, I can't say that I've heard of a hoo-hoo grub.
Okay, well, let me put you in on this
Fill
one.
me in.
You're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is nothing like it. In fact, well, it's big, it's white, it's like a double-decker bus to a Mini, I've got to be honest with you. And, well, the indigenous folks of New Zealand, the Maori, still today use this as a delicacy. They still eat it, and believe me, I've had my fair share. In fact, I've had so many, I'm starting to like them over the years. But what they are is a big white bug, and what you do, now I suggest alcohol. Before, most people try during as well. And
We tried it. Yeah.
Right.
Check. All right, there you go.
And what you do is you put the live body in your mouth, rip off the head. Don't eat the head, it's yucky. But when you crunch down on this, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
I'll take your word for it.
Close up on the faces there, right? Yeah, believe me, they're getting those expressions here.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
Well, I did ask you if you knew much about New
I'll
Zealand.
just buy a jar, man, for like $2. I don't know how hard it is to get peanut butter in New Zealand, but here in America, I'll send you some peanut butter.
No, it's all good. We have a thing called sanitarium here that makes peanut butter. That's not the place where they hold the nutters, by the way. It is actually a company called Sanitarium. But I was telling you about New Zealand, and we're made up of 3 islands. Right down the very bottom, we have an island called Stewart Island. It's the only part of New Zealand that actually got a name. Literally. I mean, whoever named New Zealand, besides being Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud, Stewart is a good, healthy name. They ran out of imagination. They really did, because they called the next island South. Yay. Then guess what followed that? North. I mean, yeah, logical, right? Surely they could have given it something better, like maybe called it Russell or Bob or John or, something other than
Anything.
South and North. Gosh. But, well, down the west coast of the South Island there's a little place called Hokitika, and they have a wild foods festivals down there. Now, you're familiar with festivals, kids wandering around, candy floss, hot dogs on a stick, stuff like that. Yeah, not there.
Yep.
Literally, it's wild food. You might see kids wandering around with a deep-fried locust or something on a stick, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Real wild. I mean, mountain oysters. Yum. It's on the menu, literally.
Sheep's tails.
No, sheep's tails. Yeah, pigs try to. The thing is, I've been trying to talk to this management of these guys down there for almost 20 years now. I says, why don't you just set up a little tent there where you can dip women in chocolate?
I would buy a ticket to that.
All day eating.
Yeah.
Believe me. Terry Van Cannon says, I think the grub story is making Jonathan sick. He's changed 4 different colours. He's gone through a gambit of colours.
So with all these bugs and all this northeast, south, and Stewart, talk about this golf cart.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We're getting
That's right.
there.
All right.
We're getting there. But first of
I
all,
want answers.
yeah, we're getting there. Because we've got to head down the South Island before we come back up. But have you ever heard of Queenstown?
I have not, but I have now.
Okay, well, not calling it Queensland, that's in Australia. Basically the place where all the men wear dresses and high heels, drive fast in women's clothes, called drag racing. That's Queensland. But Queenstown, now Queenstown is a little boutique kind of town, come city, where all the A-listers from around the world go to get away from the paparazzi, maybe the missus, you never know what they're down there for, but believe me, a lot of the A-listers go there, and you never know who you might run into. Shania Twain owns property down there. Tom Cruise was down there before the pandemic, same with Kevin Costner, Keanu Reeves, the A-listers. Anyway, but you don't want to run into me down there.
You don't.
No, you don't, because well, literally, Cory, I'll throw you off a bridge.
Is that right? Is that?
Stunned silence now.
So I take it one 4-wheeled golf cart, one bad driver, sideways 4 wheels, out I go. Is that how it's basically the?
Yeah, you're getting close. Well, down in Queenstown, a good friend of mine who introduced the sport to New Zealand, bungee jumping, is down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I said, well, crazy, you gotta, get the ticket going, right?
Yep.
So, well, you're not Australian, we'll attach the bungee. Very cautious. But having said that, while we're down there, we'll take you on a super jet boat ride down the river down there. Believe me, you will absolutely love it. Down the shot over. Those guys are nuts. They turn these super boats inside out, upside down, all around, and I promise you, you won't spill a drop of your beer.
Well, as long as that's the case, we're okay.
Now,
Because that's the only way we boat here in America is with plenty of beer.
yeah, well, I actually had one American say to me, how can you not drop a drop of your beer? I said, lids broke. We're up with the play. We put lids on things first, but believe me, a lot of fun. Now let's get to the golf cart. Are you familiar with Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, well, Peter Jackson is actually somebody I went to school with back in the day at university. And believe me, you should see some of his earlier movies. I'll give you a list of them later on. Very funny. But he managed to get this movie, J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Now, about an hour and a half away from where we are right now is actually Middle-earth, the original set of Hobbiton. We can go there. Matter. It does matter in matter. We can go there, show you around. Now, as you may be able to gather, the staff will have to take you in because I'm not allowed back in. Yeah. Something happened and, well, mysteriously one of their security golf carts went missing, ended up in the middle of Lake Rotorua.
Now, so hypothetically, what do you think happened to this golf cart? Hypothetically, and you're a detective Sherlock Holmes, if that was you, what would you imagine had happened?
I attached it to a helicopter and flew it out.
He did.
The guy was in it at the time to start with, but believe me, he got a couple of feet off the ground and bailed real quick.
Jumped out. Well, then you're all right. I'll tell you, Terry was right. I will not be in a golf cart around or near you, just period. That's what I'm trying to learn. It doesn't matter. Yep. Looks like whether we're in Stewart, north, east, south, or west, you are not safe if you're in a golf cart around DJ Grip.
Believe me, it's come back to haunt me a number of times, that one, I've got to be honest with you. But, yeah, well, if you're going to come to New Zealand, all I can say is if you're going to hook up with me, bail money.
Gotcha. Yes. Yes.
We got good lawyers. We got plenty of good lawyers, but bail money, just in case. A little something in the back pocket, just in case, because you never know what might happen. And believe me, as I said to you, it's all about challenging yourself and getting a ticker going every day. If you're not,
Ticker go.
have you ever heard of a Zor?
Wait, what?
Zor. Z-O-R-B.
No, I have not heard of a Zorb.
Okay, well, this is fun. Believe me, you're going to love this one. Plenty of alcohol involved. Most people, again, before, during, and after. During is more challenging because it's a big, clear, round ball. And what we do is we put you in the middle of it and roll you down a hill.
Oh, okay. That's what a Zorb is. Yeah, I didn't know that's what they're actually called. But yeah, I got you. Yeah, well, I'll learn me something new today. Right, there we go.
Us Kiwis are a little different, as I said, alcohol. We put runners in front of you to be able to hit it. It's like moving Skittles. You know what I mean? Now, the reason why I say alcohol is, well, the looks on their faces as you go over top of them, priceless. Absolutely stunning. So,
yes.
These are the things you got to look forward to, Jonathan. Believe me, these are the things you got to look forward to if you're coming to New Zealand to have some fun with us. Now, we're kind of thinking, as I mentioned,
we would love to be able to do so. We would love to be able to do that and be able to do it under the guise of going and playing music. So I would, hopefully you guys open up for business. That'll be a tourist out next year for sure.
Well, I'm kind of thinking, the Cory Luetjen, the Dale Coles, the Bob Margolins, the Terry Van Cannons, the Matt Walshes, and bring them, and Smitty and the Jumpstars, bring you all over for one huge North Carolinian festival here in New Zealand. We'll do a couple of shows, one in the north, one in the south. We'll forget about Stewart, it will sink with that many people anyway. And then we'll take it over to Australia. What do you reckon?
If we can make that all work, we would love to be. You just show me the plane I got to be on.
Brilliant. We are in the plane. Believe me, even though we are doing this COVID virus thing, we're not sitting on our hands. We're making plans. We're getting ready. We do have the staff. Even though, believe me, we sympathise with everybody as far as money goes, we're not sitting here thinking, okay, well, it's us. Let's be ready for that day when the government says, go for it. You know what I mean? And believe me, we're backing them up right now. We really are. So, tell me, guys, have you left me with the blues?
Well, we won't leave you with the blues. We will definitely come over there and not leave you blue doing it. If we get the invite, we'll definitely be able to go do it. I'll tell you, this song here, this is one that is one of those interesting tunes. When we cut it, we never thought it would get as much radio play as it did. We just wanted a Greg Almondy sounding blues tune that wasn't 12 bars, but was, or at least I wanted, and then in fact, this was the one song that I just kind of said, we don't even need you over here. Like I'm gonna do the solo. I want to play guitar on it, and and I'll be darned if not every radio station that I send our album to, this doesn't somehow whittle its way onto their rotation. And so every once in a while, there's certain ones that you write that, you sit there and say, man, that's a good one. Same Old Blues was one. I think in the first one, the first interview we had, I don't think, not today, but you played Stop. That's probably my favorite one off the album. I absolutely love the song Stop. When I wrote it, I said, man, this got some juice. This has some mojo, This was one that we really liked that we just... but we didn't realize it had as much juice and mojo as it does, So the fact that it's sometimes you get a little hidden gem in there. I call it panning for gold, call it whatever you want. But we cut off with a little gold nugget here, and people seem to really enjoy this one. So hopefully they enjoy it now.
Well, I tell you, Cory, I think I told you the last time, this is your most requested song, and it hasn't stopped. It is snowballing like crazy here at Galaxy. I find it difficult to get through a breakfast show without at least playing Let Me With The Blues here at Galaxy every morning. So you're right here. Let's do it. Let Me With The Blues. Hey, check this out.
I'll tell you, really, when we put this one on the album, Grant, I didn't think. I mean, I was like, well, this is the one that's going to be. People are going to think is the filler song. You know, it's the one I like, but you know, there's. And when we record, we cut the ones we like. I mean, that's all there is to it. We don't. This is us. Hopefully you enjoy them. If you don't, you don't. But you know, like some of them, you just like saxophone. That we thought that was marketable. There's Stop, man. That Stop is one of those tunes that that's a heavy hitter right there. You left me with the blues if you're into that. This was when I was like, this is a good song. I just don't know what's going to happen with it. And I'll be darned if this one isn't really starting to kick off pretty good for us, you know?
We were going to play Stop, but we substituted it, of course, for your new release that we're going to be doing next. So,
yeah. You know, I completely understand, and that's fine. You know, and I figure you swap out the new release for this one. And I have no idea that this was the most requested one that we had, so that was kind of an interesting little deal, you know what I mean? So, very cool. I mean, you know, hey, listen, hopefully we'll catch enough ears that they check out our stuff and get stopped and do all the other deal anyways. And hopefully it's in your rotation every once in a while, and as long as we do all those things, then it'll take care of itself.
Well, believe me, and tonight is actually Blues Night, and you're featuring in that as well, but you're up close to 1,900 requests for it.
For Left Me With The Blues?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. You're up there.
Astonishing. It's just an amazing thing, you know. You know, like I was telling you, you go through cycles. Like you write it and you think, man, this is a pretty good tune. I want to cut it. And then you go from, who the hell would listen to this? And then you go to, there's 1,900 people requesting. You know what I mean? Well, apparently 1,900 people want to listen to it. You know what I mean? And so it's just kind of one of those funny things. You know what I mean? As an artist, the progressions of it, I guess. You know what I mean?
Believe me, bro. Since we've been playing it, it has just amassed a following. It really has. I said earlier on that Dale Hammond was joining us, and it's an absolute pleasure to have Dale joining us, literally. Anthony Ligori is our resident Elvis.
Do we have any questions? Yeah.
And he's
Say that one more time.
Anthony Ligori is our resident Elvis, and has toured with the Hammond brothers. I was having an interview with him not so long ago, and I noted that he had some really nice jewelry on, right? And I was looking at the turquoise because that's my birthstone, right? And he says, Grant, don't worry about it, I'll send you a couple. So, and he's got a part Native American in him as well, you know what I mean? So it suited him.
Right. Yep.
And when he sent them to me, I opened up the bag and thought, holy fuck, excuse my language.
You're naughty.
Yeah.
But we're not in here.
He sent me some bracelets with his teeth on them. Right? I thought that. But do you know what they are? Little skulls.
Oh, yeah.
But they're skulls.
Holy smokes.
And when I opened up the bag, I went, oh my God, it's his teeth. So, Anthony.
Way too personal, yeah.
That is too cool.
But luckily it was just designed.
Yeah,
right.
Yes. Couple of teeth. Anyway, let's go back to the desk. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 19 after 12 o'clock and 9 degrees. It's weird right now, it's going up and down like a lift, it really is. Tuesday, June 29th, and I'm absolutely elated to be joined by Cory Luetjen and of course Jonathan Link from the band, the Travelling Blues Band. Now, we're going to be doing a release very, very shortly. But I must apologise to you guys on Facebook. I said an F-bomb word, and I'll put somebody's money in the jar later, not mine. I'll find somebody's wallet and put money in it. Don't worry. Anyway, having said that, Cory, I got to ask you about your logo in the background there. Who created that?
Okay, so actually, I'm glad you mentioned it. So typically, a lot of times in this band, what you end up having is me with an idea, and then hiring out people much more talented than me to carry out the idea. That is it. I was just smart to put my name on the logo. That's why it's Cory Luetjen Travel Blues Band. I hired players far better than me, and we keep doing it. So in this particular case is Rich Powell. I went and I gave him this sketch. I said, man, I want like this VW bus thing, but I want, guitars and microphones and all that good stuff. So he ended up sketching it. In fact, right at the very bottom of every one, I kept his artist signature. I had the option to get rid of it, but I like giving credit where credit's due. And we did it, and I'll tell you, we had some, as promised. We have a bunch of T-shirts. I don't know if you got a good look at them there. We got these in the baseball style and whatnot there. The grill of the van is a microphone. We got the guitar on top. He really did a lot of the details that we do there, and we have a few of the koozies and all that good stuff with them on there, little can huggers that you can check out. We got hats. We got all the good stuff. Like I said, if anybody's interested in any of it, just message us. We'll get them to you. And it was just one of those cool logos. We actually had a guitar logo as well. We use as an alternate logo. It's actually on the album.
On the website.
It's on the website as well. It's kind of like every band has at least an alternate logo. So we use that one a lot as well, but nothing beats the band logo. Just something about it is really cool. Our band itself, it is a white band. It doesn't look quite as cool as that one. It is an old Road Warrior. It's an 01 Dodge van, 01 Dodge, yeah, and the motor's been replaced on it a couple times, thanks to my brother and father who own a shop. We put roughly 35 to 40,000 miles a year on that vehicle, and it gets us to and from, and it's the easiest way to haul 4 or 5 guys and all that equipment. And I'll be darned, that 318, just something about that Detroit steel, it just seems to get us to everywhere we need to go. So this is definitely the how like in Hollywood, you have the real guy and then you have an actor actually play him. So for me, it would be Chris Pratt would play me, a much better looking version of me, something like that, right? That's exactly what this is. This is the Hollywood version of the real band for us to go to and from shows.
I was actually going to ask you if it was a combi and whether you had a real combi yourself, but you answered the question. You really, really did. Thank you very much for that. And believe me, absolutely loving the artwork. I really am. It stands out. It's absolutely eye-catching, purposeful, works. It really does. So keep an eye out for that logo, and you'll know you're in for a good show. You literally will. By the way, go to Galaxy Artists. Keep an eye out there because Cory does advertise in there. He lets us know what he's doing, when he's doing it, and how he's doing it, and what colour underpants he's wearing at the time. So, you can only bonus on that one. You really can. In the meantime, we only got this. It is brand new. I think we got it late last night, early this morning. The team came in, worked on it, put it into the playlist. I've only heard it very, very marginally this morning. I really have. I haven't heard all of it. So I'm excited about this. Brand spanking new song, Love You Till You... sorry, let me get this right. Love You Till Your Blues Are All Gone. I hired these eyes. You okay? All right? So, the second...
It's hard to find good help, Brandon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You go down the road, you need a brand new pair of eyes, have them highly polished, all that. Still don't work well. Love You Till Your Blues Are Gone. Tell me all about this, because what I've heard of it really twigged my imagination.
Well, yeah, so one of those deals, again, we were going to Memphis. Yeah. And, COVID really, obviously, shut the world down. It really has put a pause stopgap in what we were doing. I mean, you know, I told you we won the 2017 Piedmont Blues. Then in 2019, you can't win the same Blues Society's competition within 3 years. It's in their bylaws or whatever. So we had to go to the Triangle Blues Society, which is 2 hours in the other direction, to go compete in that one. Well, we went and we ended up winning that one. So we wanted some new material and we wanted another rocker kind of type deal. And I'm a stick. I just love a good blues box shuffle. I just love playing guitar on it. It's my cup of tea. I'm heavily influenced by the Allman Brothers and Clapton and Stevie Ray and all those normal cats. And this one here, then there were local cats that really influenced me. Chris Carroll was a huge influence. This bass line is a direct ripoff of every Tuesday night jam, Monday night jam, Thursday night jam I'd ever play with Chris Carroll. He'd play one of these a night. The words were different every time, but it didn't matter. It was, hey, box shuffle out of C, you know, and we just go. And guys like Terry Von Cannon were there, and Big Bump, and Sheila, and all these great blues players that, you know, when I first started out 15, 16 years old, you know, they play a lick, and you'd go after the show, and, hey, how'd you do that? And they take the time, they show me, and it was their jams, they hosted it. So I literally grew up with these guys helping me, teaching me, stealing every lick I could. This song is a culmination of my blues roots that I absolutely love. I mean, we can rock some. We do some kind of what they call the Carolina beach music stuff. Yeah. We're cross genre, but at the root, at our backbone, we are a blues band. Cory Luetjen and the Traveling Blues Band. It is as advertised. We are a traveling blues band. We do, if it pays, we play. I mean, we travel and we play the blues, and this is really down to our roots. We wanted a rocker for Memphis. We went and did it. We actually shot a music video with this one. It's on our YouTube channel, and it actually encompasses our entire Memphis experience that year. Which was January 2020. We left there on cloud 9. We made it to the semifinals. We met a lot of people, took pictures with Walker Trout, Mr. Sit, shook hands, met all these guys, traded cards. You know, they were coming up to us, hey, you cats sound good, that type of thing. And then in March, the world stopped, as we all know it. So with that being said, we now want to jumpstart it. So we made this video. We've done it. You can check us out. And, we're definitely that blues cup of tea. And if that's your cup of tea, you're really going to like this one.
Absolutely fantastic. And believe me, I am loving this. Cory Luetjen and the Traveling Blues Band. Here is Love You Till Your Blues Are All Gone. Damn, it's hot in here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got the AC off on this one, so it doesn't keep ticking on. We're in the same boat. We are, yeah. We got the AC off on this side of the house, and we're drinking scotch. So you tell me if it's hot or not.
I used to have a young blonde 18-year-old that used to fan me, but mysteriously she went missing, and the wife took over, and well, it's just not the same anymore.
It never does work. Yeah. It never works out quite the same. Yes.
Oh dear.
It wasn't a golf cart, was it?
No, but she might have ended up with it by the sound of it. Oh dear.
Okay, this has been a fun little interview process. It's actually worked out really cool for us that, obviously being able to plug saxophone and great cross section of our tunes and we just again I can't say it enough, and we really do appreciate you guys having us and we hopefully one of these days it'll be one of those gnarly things where we're able to go over and actually play New Zealand and jump in and be in the studio and this is not a pipe dream but a real deal. We would love to do it, and we're very serious about it.
Well, we are very serious as well. We would love to have you here. We love your work, Cory. We really, really do. As an engineer, literally, I can't fault your work. I don't listen to it as a fan would listen to it. I listen to it as a DJ for commercial value, as an engineer for, how it's broken down, literally like that. So believe me, and I've been in the game almost 40 years, toured with some pretty big names in the world, literally. A couple of them come out of Australia. Those guys can't get past 4 letters, literally. One of them's actually got a lightning bolt in it. Ingenious. That's right. And in fact, the drummer lives about an hour and a half away from me right now. But I've toured with some huge bands over the years, worked with some very big bands as a front of house, as a studio engineer as well. And, you know, when I hear music like yours, Cory, it just gives me a little bit of faith that the music industry is in safe hands. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's an incredible compliment. You know, it's something we work very hard at. It's something we take very seriously. I mean, we have a blast doing it. Obviously, this is the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the writing, the recording, getting it right, the in and out. You know, nobody understands how hot a studio is. I don't think, because you never have the ACs. You can't turn them on because the lights pick them up. You know, you're always sweating in a damn studio. You know, and all those things. And but I really appreciate it. I know you listen to a lot of music and a lot of tracks, and that means a lot coming from you, DJ. Great visuals. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Well, believe me, bro. I
And
really
hell,
do.
you're all the way from the other side of the world. So I mean, if you like it from there, I mean.
Well, to be honest, it's a small world. We're in 70 odd different countries. You know, doesn't get much smaller than that these days, does it?
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yes, sir.
Let's go back to the desk. We'll wind this up, but please don't go anywhere just yet, because we're going to do a couple of crazy things
Yep.
afterwards. Okay, bro?
Until your blues are all gone.
Galaxy FM.
You know, these guys perform about 250 shows a year prior to the COVID virus. That's a busy schedule, it really is. 3 places: North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia. Well, just the backyard, actually. What, you're scared to move out?
Well, I'll tell you right now. You know, we are what I would call a regional band, but like I said, if it pays, we play. I mean, if we can go to New Zealand, I'm telling you, I'm on the next plane over there. We go all over the place. Of course, I could not thank the guys enough, and again, their wives, and that put up with the incredible, crazy tour schedule. I'll tell you, I think we're back to close to 4 to 5 nights a week for the rest of the year. I guess got some more shows this week that we'll be doing. Just give a quick rundown of everybody. Obviously, I'm Cory Luetjen. I'm the guy. Jonathan Link on sax. We have Rob Dolhanty on bass now. Glenn Bickle on keys and organ. And Todd Grubb has been doing a great job on drums. Some of the guys on the recordings, just to give shout-outs. You know, bands always change. We all stay friends. Dion McNeil was on drums on some of those. Will Petty on bass. All those guys make it possible. We have what we like to call members at large that, you know, we played with for so long. When you play 250, 300 shows a year, you need to borrow a guy from a band here and there and guys like that. And those are the guys that make it. Patrick Harrison, I'll give him a shout out as well. All those guys make this whole traveling blues band possible, that keep it a very A+ effort, a 5-star show. And I cannot thank those guys enough for their time and commitment and travel. You know, we have a blast on stage, right? We have a blast having interviews with you guys, and all that part of it is fun. We love it. We love it. But when you do it at this level, where you're somewhere in between the tour bus and jumping on the private jet, and you're literally still driving yourself the show, and running your Facebook and social media, and writing your song, recording your song. When you're doing it all, when you're not to then it is a taxing, busy. You have to be a driven person to be able to do it. You have to. It's a taxing thing. There is a lot of hard work that people don't see. I mean that you know. Over the summer here in these southern states, when we're doing festivals, they don't see that we bring 3 sets of clothes. One for setting up, one for the show, and one to put on when we get done tearing down, because they're all literally wringing wet with sweat. You know, they see the 4-hour show or the 3-hour show, the 2-hour show, whatever it is that we do. And that's great, and we have a blast doing that, and that's excellent. But, you know, there's people that work far harder than me, you know, that believe me. But I just know that, you know, when you're at this point in our careers where we're doing it, We have a blast doing this. We really enjoy it. We love doing it. We're humbled and honored to be able to do this for a living. I know that it's, luck looks a lot like preparation and opportunity when they come together, and we work hard. We try to be prepared. We try to sound good. We really try to put our best foot forward. We don't ever try to do anything, halfway. It's always a full deal. And we just cannot thank you guys enough for giving us the exposure and the stage and the platform to meet so many of your listeners. Hopefully at the end of this, we have several new Cory Luetjen and the Traveling Blues Band fans and from all around the world. And we just want to humbly thank you guys for having us be your guest this morning.
Absolute pleasure, Cory. It really is. And let's not forget Dwight Martin as well, your harmonica player. I reckon he does a great job too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of members at large, and I hate that I forgot to mention him because we didn't play it here, but Suitcases, that is a requested song we get a lot as well. And man, when we recorded that, I said, this needs a harmonica. Yeah. This, didn't need sax, it needed a harmonica. And like by the grace of God, on a Tuesday night jam that I was just at, this harmonica player comes in. He had a suitcase and he opened it up, and it had every key there was, and he was killer. And I said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And then I grabbed him, put him in the studio, and he blew up. Dwight Martin is actually an excellent member at large. Earl Austin on keys. I've been blessed to play with so many great players, and I was just lucky enough or smart enough, I'll call it smart, I'll make myself look good, that I put my name on the top of the banner, because really it is Cory Luetjen, and there's a lot I do to make it work, and on the business side of it and the booking, all that, but it's the Traveling Blues Band. It's those cats behind me that make the band the wall of sound it is, and I'm very fortunate to be able to play with a lot of great players.
I am so honored to have you as a friend, my friend. I really am. But I will wrap it up right now. Just going to ask you one more question.
Yes, sir.
Will you come back again? Will you release more music with us in the near future?
Absolutely. In fact, we're in the midst of recording another album now. Very excited about it. We're kind of to the dotting the I's and crossing the T's phase of it, which is so hopefully within the next few months or so we'll be able to get a release date, get you guys some music. Hopefully set up another one of these fun interviews with you guys.
Absolutely stunning, my friend. I absolutely got to say to you, welcome to the Galaxy family. Jonathan, you talk too much. But in the meantime, guys, let's wrap it up for now. Yeah, absolutely. You try that. Believe me, we'd love to be able to hear more of you. And maybe meet more of the band as we go through with your careers as well, down the track. So we'll be able to have a look at that. But in the meantime, folks, we'd better wrap it up for now. I'm being told we're going a little over time. So thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live. If you're going to watch a little over there on YouTube, you do know what to do. Sub, thumb, bell, bingo. Have a very happy and prosperous day. See you next time we do an interview. Catch you there. Cory, don't go anywhere just yet. But in the meantime, let's go over to the other studio. Here's Frank Peel, and I Remember You.
So I bought this guitar the other day. So I have the blue one. It has like the single chorus, but this one has humbuckers in it. Okay, so it's a humbucker.
Lord, you're crazy about a saxophone. Lord, my baby, she's crazy about a saxophone. And when she hears one blow, it sets fire to her soul, that saxophone. She don't care about that trumpet. She don't care about a slide trombone. You should see my baby dance when she hear that saxophone. Say my baby, Lord, she's crazy about a saxophone. When she hears one blow, it sets fire to her soul, that saxophone. She don't care about those drums. She don't care about that bass. She'll hear that saxophone, Lord, and dance all over the place. Say my baby, Lord's crazy about a saxophone. is a saxophone. Said my baby, she's crazy about a saxophone. When she hears